Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of Deep Space Nine Reactions. I am Fred. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back. For those that are new here, here's the format. I am rewatching every episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It is my favorite Star Trek series. I'm very familiar with major plot points and major episodes. But there are things that I have forgotten over the years because it's I go through cycles of wanting to rewatch stuff, and it's been probably about a good 5 years since I sat down and watched all of Deep Space Nine in order, give, give or take, probably longer. Anyway, full obvious detail. You do not see footage of the episode in question. I blur it out as indicated over here. You don't hear any audio from the episode because obviously with copyrighted music and stuff, we don't want to get in trouble that way either. So, but some ambient audio may be picked up by my microphone to my speakers. It happens a lot. Those who watch the streams knows that sometimes that happens. Let's see what else. There are no cuts. There are no edits. I do basically a running commentary all the way straight through. In fact, something that you can always expect as soon as the rock is flying through space for the opening credits, I will be doing all the usual promotion spiel. So, but with that said, we are in the middle of season 3 of DS9 this week, and the episode in question is Destiny. I don't remember a damn thing about this episode. Honestly, I don't. There are things I remember fairly well. I don't remember anything about this episode. So, so with that said, let's get into it. Station log, stardate 48543.2. It was a Tuesday, and there are Cardassian scientists on the station to assist deploying a subspace relay to the Gamma Quadrant. Communications to a wormhole for the first time. Okay, so that is this another Kai Wynn episode where somebody from the Bajoran government is going to be say no, we should not do this, probably a fundamentalist, and Cisco needing to adjust a painting that was crooked on the wall. I wonder if that was A.V. Brooks improvising. Want the Kardashians to feel like guests, not prisoners. And here's the thing: there are Bajorans who are not thrilled about that, but they are making reference to the treaty between Bajor and Cardassia. So, it's getting to the point where okay, get the Bajorans comfortable with seeing their Kardashians just coming by, living, working on the station. How does the Kardashian design look? And Jadzia is not convinced it's going to work. And Quark is here with bottles of Kanar. These are Ulani's quarters, and how does Quark know the names of the Cardassians when Odo was just informed? Quark finds out about stuff easily. He has a bottle of Kanar for each of them. Where did Quark get real Kanar? And he's had 3 cases in his storeroom since the occupation. But there's not about to change. He's like he kept the Kanar in case the Cardassians started being frequent in the station. And Quark is optimistic. There's going to be a peace treaty. Cardassians are going to be coming by the station. As a 34th rule of Adoration, 35th rule of Adoration, peace is good for business. The 34th rule is war is good for business. It's easy to get them confused. Of course, we all know what Rule 34 is normally. Yes, scientists, diplomats, and spies are all welcome at Quark's. That the shop next to Quark's is going out of business and he's renting in, setting up. What's he setting up? few Cardassian gaming concessions. No live wolf fights on the promenade. Oh, come on now. Quark would not do anything so cruel and inhumane. If Cardassians bring their voles along, if they get into a fight, Quark is not responsible for it. Noda will find a way to blame him, and Sisko will join in blaming Quark. Well, at least Quark tried. Yeah, forget the vole fights. Hijack fights, that's where it's at. If we're gonna be the best known for the best Cardassian food and drink, and that this Kanar has gone bad. What do you mean it's gone bad? All that for Quark's dreams to be shot down. Bit of a long and unusual Okay, that's the opening first scene, but it's really all about this slice of life stuff. Oh, Vedic Yarka is here to see Sisko. Oh my goodness, who is this actor? I've seen him in that. He is everywhere. Who the hell is this actor? Bald head, gray beard. I think he's had that gray beard since like probably since the 70s, early 80s. Here to give a warning. Oh, I don't know his name, but he's been everywhere. Anyway, as the rock goes flying through space for the opening credits, obviously, like, comment, and subscribe to this pokey little YouTube channel. Obviously, for Deep Space Nine reactions every week, and also you get the archives, the nightly updated archive of everything that happens over on the Twitch channel. Speaking of which, I am live over on Twitch 7 nights a week, 5 p.m. start time on Saturdays and Sundays, of 9:30 p.m. start time Mondays to Fridays. Those are all Eastern times. Current games that are being featured: Resident Evil 5 and Yakuza Like a Dragon. And this week, actually starting tomorrow, July 20th, we are going to start up Sandland, which I would argue, in terms of a manga, is Akira Toriyama's best work because it's actually a self-contained story. Let's see, any other business? Oh, obviously, PayPal donation link in the description below. If you want to kick a few bucks, help keep the lights on and something. Don't worry why it's partially dark here. I just have one light on off to the side. And, save a little electricity that way. Now, the question is, who the hell is Vedic Yardek, or the actor? Because I've seen him in so many things, and I can't think of the dude's name. But he pops. But he's almost like a reoccurring guest actor on almost every type of show. Definitely throughout the 90s and early 2000s, and also like a character actor popping up in movies too. And now is the Vedic making some sort of threat? Not at all. Like Becca's third prophecy. He got the first orb of change. And Kira does not know it. But this guy's a fundamentalist. But Kira is supposed to study the test. Study the text. The river rake stirred once more on Janae's side. 3 vipers will return to nest in the sky. The river referring to the temper of referring to the wormhole. And he's saying that the Viper's on their way here, and he's referring to the Cardassian scientists. And the station is their nest in the sky. That's being quite literal. But the question is, how is their presence here is going to bring destruction to us all? Franco said, when the Vipers try to peer through the temple gates, a sword of stars will appear in the heavens. The temple will burn and the gates will be cast open. Let's not let the... So Well, the Celestial Temple has been violated for the longest. So this guy is a religious fundamentalist, and he wasn't blamed on Cardassians or calling them vipers. Yes, the Cardassians are literally snake-like in terms of their appearance, if you want to be like that. We say the temple will be destroyed. Nothing will happen. There's only two coming, not three, but there will be a third Cardassian coming. And does he understand what the communications relay could mean to Bajor? If it works, he'll be able to stay in contact with ships in the Gamma Quadrant. It'll help with our exploration, monitor Dominion activity. And he says none of that matters because of the religious fundamentalists of the Bajorans. Hey, he studied the prophecies all his life, and he's saying they're in great danger. But again, it's a religious nutball. And the Bajoran, the Vedic Assembly, and Kai Wynn wants them to proceed. That they have chosen to ignore the signs. Sisko would do what must be done, but he's always in a position of conflict because of a position of being a religious figure. On one, he does not want to be a religious figure, and his duty as a Starfleet officer. And this guy is going to stay on, and his followers are going to stay on the station, so they're going to be causing problems in their own right. And now Odo need to find out about Vedic Yarka and all of his followers. Sisko does not want any trouble while they're here, especially while the Cardassians are here. Also, need to point out, not a visitor, always looking gorgeous in the Bajoran militia uniform. So definitely leaning onto the Bajoran myths and legends. Here comes two of the Cardassians. And the best. Here's Zulani on the left, and Galora on the right. The Cardassian government is happy that the Federation is agreeing to work on this project. Hopefully, it'll be the first of many projects. And Kira, this is going to take you to your quarters. I'm so surprised it's called the Bajoran Provisional Government. At this point in time, 3 years in, it is the government. Now the formalities out of the way. How was your trip? It was an exhausting trip. Oh, they were rehearsing everything they wanted to say. They're scientists, not diplomats, and they did fine. Let the Central Command know about that. And more goals have been the Cardassian Central Command is wanting to is been up these two's asses wanting this mission to be a success. Oh, Major Kira was the one who allowed them to come here. He's the ranking Bajoran officer, so that's. And I was like, okay, since she's the senior Bajoran officer, it's like, okay, like chances are Kira could be opposed to it, and so they're showing they're showing Kira the respect of her rank and position. So that's really cool. So they're going to set something up 2 kilometers away from the mouth of the wormhole on the opposite side. They're going to place it up on Terrakinar, excuse me, Deep Space Nine, Force of Habit. But now Dax straps into his head, like she's not quite sure that this carrier wave is going to work. So they're going to test different types of pulses. One of them should. The Federation tried, the Bajoran tried. The Bajorans made the dead available to them. There's like a phase variance, and O'Brien taking offense to that he configured it himself. There's a real minor variance. O'Brien wants to see the specs, and we can't blame him. Of course, it's necessary. In a way, these two Kardashians is like you can tell there's a little romance interest. They're certainly implied with some of the body language. Which one of the hand is like, calm down, baby. Like I said, it's been a long day. We can't blame them. Have someone show them to the quarters. Maybe it won't be necessary. Wait, no, they had two separate quarters. Those are the two about the friendliest vipers I have ever met. It was like, wait, we'll call them vipers behind her back, Cisco. That's never a good sign. Oh, she popped back in. Oh, another colleague of ours will be arriving later today. And Kira's just about to have like a conniption fix. Like, what is it, Major? There's gonna be three of them. And Kira's now Faith. And then one thing you don't know, if you're an idiot from Ohio who thinks who calls yourself part of a target audience, and have issues whenever, like, say in a future episode where Kira is relying on her faith to talk with Cisco and keep him conscious. Here's an episode where Kira's faith is kind of paramount there in terms of her beliefs, because if you don't remember, established very early on, Kira's faith is a major part of her character. The Vedic Yarka has been opposed to Yarka maybe using the prophecy to scuttle the peace treaty, which appears to be his agenda. So a lot of things. And yes, that is a shot against those two folks over at the Target Audience channel. I may be small, I may be minor in comparison, but I'll take shots at them all damn day long, especially when I'm made aware of something. That aside, Cisco needs to know if there was anything that could prove harmful to the wormhole. Cisco will shut it down. So he needs actual proof. Notice picked up that Cisco's been separating himself from the title of emissary. It's like, oh, there's no that is something that Cisco's never been comfortable with. Can't blame him. Like every Bajoran looks to him that way. But Cisco's asking, is he dismissing the prophecy so easily because he does not want to be emissary, which is a possibility. And Odo points out all humanoids have an agenda of some sort. Of course, Odo should stress that should expand that to all life forms have some sort of agenda of all kind. Morn is sick. Oh, good. And the Vedic Yarka is wanting to have a word with Kira. And Morn is sick, had some of that bad canard. And the Vedic is trying to convince Kira to convince Cisco. It's like, why? Saying the Celestial Temple will be destroyed is not going to happen. But here's the thing: the Celestial Temple, the wormhole, does get shut down, but it has nothing to do with this. It has everything to do with Gul Dukat going involved with the Pa race. And in terms of like three Vipers, I don't know, it's female changeling, Wayun, and Dukat. Those are the three Vipers. And to this point, and here's a Vedic who has basically been kicked aside by the Vedic Assembly, trying to bully Kira into using her faith into says like, no, you can't keep your religion and your work separate. That it's saying it's Kira's duty to do what he wants. It's saying it's the prophets that are asking. He said, well, he's attacking Kira's face left, right, and center there. and just have it weigh down on her, guilt tripping her. Okay, Dex is well read on Cardassian literature. Well, Cardassian literature is a bit dry and repetitive. O'Brien is just cross armed, just like, can I go now? Oh, and here comes another hottie Cardassian. The Jean is quite stern looking. She was able to get special transport, and it's like, oh, sure you were. It looks like they don't want her there. Quark has made some Cardassian delicacies, such as Bajan Yamak sauce, Agova eggs, all fresh, not replicated. Bullshit. And neither of them are thrilled by it. The Jor seems to be inclined to eat it. Oh, and these two don't care for Cardassian cuisine, and they try to avoid it whenever possible. The science military are provided with a wide variety of off-world food. Oh, and Dejar saying that those in the scientific ministry are quite spoiled. So she's a plant from like the Obsidian Order or something thereof. Because that's what's coming eventually is the whole Obsidian Order and Tal joint venture into the Gamma Quadrant. Oh, O'Brien's made modifications. They don't have as much carrying capacity as before. And she's not happy with O'Brien's work. And O'Brien had to do things up to Starfleet Coal to make room for secondary backups. A second backup, in case the first one fails. What are the chances that both the main system and the backup will fail at the same time? Very unlikely, but in a crunch, O'Brien would not want to be caught without a second backup. So yes, better. He's trying to figure out what they need to do next, but it's like O'Brien is like, oh, she does not want to hear from O'Brien. She's used to Cardassian specs. O'Brien just sit in the corner. Oh, and if you're gonna just sit there and be quiet, get her a cup of red leaf tea. Like O'Brien is just going through it. He is not happy. But again, Starfleet code and Cardassian standards, Klingon tech, all very different. And the comm relays in the cargo bay. For an episode that is kind of like evenish, there is a lot going on. Granted, it's the religious aspect that most people will or will not care for this story episode, but it is a point of conflict. If the Cardassians are trying to do something nice, more likely it's going to be the religious fundamentalists on Bajor that's going to cause problems. They imply to deploy the relay. There's a large amount of ice and gas. The low comment. The core contains some high concentrations of beryllium. That's why its tail is so bright. And Kira Think calling it the Sword of Stars, and her uttering that has Sisko wondering, is the prophecy real? It's a colorful way of describing a comment, but yeah, Kira's kind of like causing a little incident there. Well, it kind of makes you wonder how familiar are the Cardassians would be with Bajoran religious texts. And check the relay station, and we want it deployed within the hour. And Cisco rises from his chair. He's going right over to Kira and to have a word with her. And Kira does not look like she knows she's in trouble. Straight to the quarters because there's no ready room on the Defiant. It's open to debate of what it is, and what it is that the prophecy has no place on the bridge on the Defiant in front of the Cardassians. You don't want to be causing any troubles here. Like it won't happen again. Kira's kept things separate. Now Cisco takes a sit down. Cisco's asking her outright if she thinks the prophecy is coming true. That the Like there's too many coincidences. Cisco's now conflicted. Like there's a decision that needs to be made. I think it's the first time that Cisco asked outright if she believes he's the emissary. She's always have. She's never wanted it to admit it to herself. Like an off-worlder could be the emissary. It's hard to work with someone who is a religious icon. Cisco didn't ask for this. He didn't ask for to be at the station either. Cisco doesn't see himself as a religious icon or otherwise. He's a Starfleet officer who came here with a mission. Like Cisco needs a concrete reason, something solid, something that Starfleet and understanding to justify it, like the Cardassians would also accept. Wormhole aliens can see past, present, and futures. They communicated the knowledge of the future to a Bajor named Core. Is it possible? Is it possible that the wormhole aliens, which they had had an invested interest in Bajor for centuries, like and like, hey, just send out some things along. But everything hinges on how you interpret ancient text that has been translated and retranslated over centuries. There are so many things that can be just straight up metaphor versus fact. It's why you don't see me dealing with like a church or anything. Why I do poke fun at religion in general, because if you're trying to imply that anything other than the moral lessons from 2000 plus years ago applies today, like in terms of how things should be, then there's a problem there. But still, it is a fascinating debate between Kira and Cisco. Not so much a debate, but it is that conflict. It doesn't pop up often, but when it does, it's a major point of contention, as it should be. It is part of DS9's makeup as a show. You need to shove an ODA line where and why not? Why can't you do it? Those car coils aren't configured to handle ODN output. Why not? Did he modify them? He replaced them. They're always short. The old things were shorting out. Why the station was how the station was kept running during the occupation. If she told O'Brien what he needed to do, he's like they can work things out. It's been her experience that men don't understand. That's the humans aren't good engineers. Not humans, males. Men, men are the problem. Men doesn't seem to have a head for this sort of thing. That's why women dominate the sciences on Cardassia. But on this station, this man, as an O'Brien, knows more about these systems than anyone else. Problem is, she's a sexist. If you want to get that transceiver online, hand him the tool and give him some room. And she just fell for O'Brien outright. It's like she is giving him. I am gonna ride him like a bronco. Like they're receiving a test signal. Now aim it towards the wormhole to begin a carrier wave. They receive it on the station. They'll send a signal back. So let's see. Will it work on the first attempt? Nothing has been receiving yet. Another carrier wave. There's a neutrino surge from the wormhole. And everything's rocking. I'm gonna shut it down. Like, shut it off! Shut it off! And they shut it off. So the theta band is not good to use. If the comet hinders the wormhole, they will call a cascade reaction and collapse the wormhole permanently. It was like, oops, it was a failed test. They have 5 hours to move a comet. So the question is, use a tractor beam. Problem is, moving a comet is not that easy. Hell, the Enterprise could barely move a comet. The probability was less than 2%. And they saw no reason to include the data because they saw it as a minor risk. And Cisco and Starfleet values all possibilities. But Cardassian, the science ministry of Cardassia, is like, which falls under the jurisdiction. The military means that they follow certain rules. It's like any project that looks unnecessary agent, you keep that information on the download. The science ministry wants to assemble a new team before proceeding further. That's a Cardassian matter, but right now there's a problem. It's like they can't use tractor beams to deflect a comment. Oh, breaking the smaller pieces and to create a bigger mess. If you try to blow it up with a phaser, same thing. A lot of fractures and things. Vaporize it evenly, but how long would take those modification takes? 3 hours? O'Brien will get it done in 2. The George certainly seems against the whole thing, wondering if she sabotaged it. And once then, O'Brien is with her Cardassian beauty. Just bypass the plasma emitter. If she hadn't thought about that, O'Brien is nervous. And think about this: over the course of like 2.5 seasons of Deep Space Nine at this point, O'Brien has had a female engineer, both a Bajoran and now a Cardassian, having the hots for him in some way. She gets to crawl behind him, see that Irish beauty. So what is he doing now? Coupling a few servers so they won't lock up. Why she's placing an arm around that. Oh, he has very steady. Oh, that's a hell of a way of testing hands. His hands get the job done. And the most important job his hands need to be doing is bypassing the plasma emitter. It's like it's just she is quite fertile and like bang his head again. It's like boy, she is going all in. She's like children. O'Brien is married and he has a kid. He's married? Yeah, he's happily married. Why has he been leading him to believe that I wanted him? O'Brien hasn't done anything. All they meant since they met is argue. Oh, she took his irritable nature that he wanted to pursue a physical relationship. That's how Kardashians do things. Oh, she's embarrassed. It's a case of cross-cultural misunderstanding, and in a big way, but it's okay. So he's not remotely interested in her. It's like wrong thing to say. That's not what he meant, but he's very attractive. He's flattered. Yeah, this ultimate embarrassment there. Galora is upset. And like, what she wants to do is literally go find a dark hole and crawl into it and die. That's what she wants to do. Die of embarrassment. Next, what's the update? O'Brien has finished the phasers. Oh, he'll finish. I told you he'll get it done quick. Half an hour ahead of schedule. I said he'll get it done in 2, so 2.5. O'Brien always you know, gives himself an extra. It's like the engineering rule. O'Brien follows the miracle worker. If a job will take you, says it'll take you 2 hours, you tell him it'll take 3. This way, it makes you look like a miracle worker when you come in under that. And Cisco's now obsessing over the text of Trakor's prophecy. It's like how it can be interpreted and things of that nature. Getting harder and harder to ignore the prophecy. Like Cisco's confirmed now that he doesn't send the Cardassians home, something else is going to go wrong. Gates of Heaven will burn and everything else. If Cisco never heard a prophecy, what would Cisco do? He would have continued working on the communications, really. So it's like he has a choice. Cisco can make his own decisions, or let the prophecies make them for you. Dax laying it out there plain and simple. Because Cisco will be taking the same courses of action with or without the prophecies, and he just turns the damn thing off. As soon as the Defiant is ready, have the Cardassians meet us on board. Dax is pleased. It's no wonder the pirates go after her directly. Meanwhile, back in the Gamma Quadrant, like, let's see those phasers in action, Chief. It's a big ball of ice. Fire the phasers. Yeah. Fire it in the middle, and like everything has gone up. Something has blown up. Overload. Not modified phasers never came online, and it like somebody sabotaged them. I'm sure 26 minutes before they get to the edge of the wormhole. But how can they stop them without any weapons? Dun dun dun! Obviously, they're going to fix this solution. Accidentally inverted the power flow, and everybody and and everybody's looking at the jour. It's like it wasn't O'Brien's fault, and it wasn't an accident. Delora, the jour is a member of the Obsidian Order. Yeah, I called it. I like realized that. It's assigned for security reason. And she sabotaged the coupling. And the order has been opposed to the peace treaty with Bajor, and they sent her to sabotage everything. What do you mean it's all speculation? If it was sabotage, the DNA scan of the company will reveal who is responsible. It should be the third Viper. Now they got the smaller pieces. Can we use a tractor beam to deflect them? Can we prevent this lithium from interacting with the wormhole? A subspace field around the fragments contain it and is guided on through the wormhole. Warp drive they could use the warp drive to create a subspace field. That's basically been a thing introduced in the next generation, going all the way back to the Traveler. The shuttle pod can overload the engines, but Cisco will do it himself. Kira has the bridge. Take the Defiant back to the Alpha Quadrant. If Kira wants to go with him, not just because she's the first officer, because she's believes she's here to help the emissary. All right, fair enough. Dak, you're in charge. Again, this is Kira using her face as like justification of her choices. Oh boy, that's a cramped shuttle. It kind of makes you wonder, how big is the shuttles on the Defiant? Because the Defiant ain't that large, and it looks like there's not really room for a rear compartment. The Defiant's back in the Alpha Quadrant. Again, that is those are very snug. And granted, this shuttle has like it's supposed to have warp capabilities too. I mean, like how freaking compact is no, and we've seen like small shuttles like Star Trek Online. There's a number like, but there's always implied that there's a bit of size to them. Subspace field is losing integrity, and it's some of the stuff is starting to leak out. Put the power to the engines to the field coils. Have inertia carry them out. Yes, something's coming through, all right. Well, will they be able to pull it out? Yep, they did. The three swords go flying through space and crash land on Bajor. Is Cisco and Kira all right? There was a little bit of leakage, but everything was fine. You know, sometimes you can't prevent leakage. But the silithium thing from the from the comet is like is acting as a carrier wave. The comet fragments passing through left a trail and is helping with the communication relay. It's almost like was this opening the crack to let the subspace signals through. Prophecy came true. All of it? They just misinterpret Trackor's words. Of course. Always looking for the negative. The three Vipers. Who isn't talking about the Cardassians? Who's the core Framek? Communications relay, in a sense, we've been trying to peer through the temple glass. A united wormhole burning the temple gates so that they never close again. Because the emissary Used the Sword of Stars. 3,000 years ago he saw it. But which was the Sword of Stars? The Defiant or the Shuttle? Boy, is that open up for interpretation there. So, like I said, this is. And it's like the awkwardness here. Like, hopefully, she does not get too much trouble with the Cardassian Obsidian Order. The Science Ministry will protect her. The Jor is in much more trouble because she got caught. Like, the Obsidian Order does not reward failure. She'll be lucky to make it back to to Cardassia. Like, O'Brien is proud of his work. Damn right he is. He's too proud. He's gotten in trouble now and again, and he got a Cardassian hop from him. And she knows Keiko is a lucky woman and gives O'Brien a little peck on the cheek. O'Brien knows he has options. Keiko ever leaves him, he's off to Cardassia. And here's this Vedic saying, it's like, hey, I've doubted you. It's like his distrust for the Cardassians, his racism towards the Cardassians led him to cause all sorts of trouble. Now, there's signs of Draco's fourth prophecy, which are what? Everything happens. It's a prophecy about the emissary. And now Sisko wants to know. The emissary will face a fiery trial and he'll be forced to choose. Which actually ends up happening. That actually is groundwork for a lot of things, Sisko making decisions at certain points in time. Just to talk about the Draco's Force prophecy, Sisko would have to literally choose between what? Kira gets possessed by the prophets and Jake possessed by the Pah-wraiths. So Sisko would be forced to choose, and I forget the name of that episode, but Kai Wynn interferes in that. Then there will be facing a fiery trial. You could also refer to the end of season 6, where Sisko has to choose between leading a major attack to strike down things on as it relates to the Dominion, but because he's not on the station, it leads to Dax's death, Dukat releasing the Pah-wraiths, and the wormhole being closed for a time. And the fiery trial could also be referred to the very end of the series, where Sisko is literally going one-on-one Dukat in the Bajoran fire caves. And I say one-on-one, it's mostly a one-sided fight, but somehow Sisko gets lucky in the end. So there are a number of things there that you can interpret just by the final stuff there. Now, again, certain people, certain Star Trek reactors take issue with the use of religion and say they don't care for the religious plot line that acts as a through line through DS9's 7-year run. But it was there from the very beginning, and obviously it's a key component to the Bajoran people. It's a key component to Kira. It's a major part of her personality. It's key here to this episode. It was and in several episodes already, and will be key going forward. So how can anybody have issues with Kira's religion with her faith when it's tied into the story and it's a key component of her character? All sorts of little fun stuff with I forget, it was like Galori, was between O'Brien and Galori, I think that's her name, is like that's a wonderful little pairing there with the misunderstanding and such. And again, when you pay attention, you realize, oh, this is the second time O'Brien has had a woman hot for him that he was working closely with. So it's so number of different ways and things that can be interpreted from that. All in all, a good episode. One that I really did not remember much of anything about going into it from before. Oh, that's what I want to find out. Fedek Yarka. Who was he played by? Eric Avari, who has he plays a Klingon in Unification Part 1. He shows up on Enterprise as well. He was on Stargate. He's been in the Marvel movies. He was on Law and Order. Oh, yeah, because who was he in Star? You ask you who was he in Stargate? He was the on the Abydos. In Stargate the movie, he is like the head of the Abydos people, the village. He was in Independence Day, The Money, the mummies. What else has he been in that I have seen? It's definitely Stargate and Independence Day. But again, not TV. It's a TV work. He had a couple roles on Law and Order. He was on L.A. Law. Guest star on Martin. He was on an episode of Seinfeld. Lois and Clark: New Adventures of Superman. NYPD Blue. Babylon 5. He's appeared on Roseanne. The X-Files. And he's been on episodes of a show called The Chosen as recently as last year. His voice has also been in Destiny and Destiny 2. And I've played Destiny 2, so as Master Rahul. So there you go. So Eric Avari. Like, recognize the face, but boy, see him in all sorts of stuff. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up here. Obviously, we'll be back next week with another episode. So if you made it here to the very end, thank you very much for watching. Tighten your friendship bracelets. Stay safe. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.